What's up, Martian? So today's speaker box comes from a discussion that I was having yesterday. And as you know, most of my speaker boxes come from real life conversations that I have when I'm interacting with people here and there and everywhere. And I think I'm so excited about this particular one because it's very rare in this savage, petty filled world of entanglements and trying to paint things as one way and it's not another, and gaslighting and all that buttery bullshit that's out there in the world, when people could just be the best version of themselves and be honest and not be fence riders, where they could tell the whole truth instead of the half truth. Like, the world that we live in is so muckety muck muck muck. It like really is. And I think that when I come in contact with someone who is genuine and authentic and who recognizes, like, yeah, people are doing a lot of trifling things and trying to gaslight them as just what's normal now. And it's not. And it's not respectful. And so I think the reason why it's so funny that I also was sent this video that has become pretty popular that I had titled on my YouTube channel as "How to Lose a Queen," number number 31,003. Fake oblivion is just an ego's immature facade. And I'm laughing because when I uploaded it, I upload videos all the time. Some of my YouTube videos have as many as like 3,000 people have seen them because I'm new to YouTube, and some of them have one and some of them have none. But I'm laughing because people, whether they like the video or they're just viewing it or they're just sharing it, people are passionate about this topic because there is this nasty stain on friendships where there's this, I'm going to act like this person is my friend, but I'm really trying to get with them for real. And that's not anything that's new. That's probably old as time, as they say. But it really is like, it's like an epidemic and it's destroying relationships. And what people don't realize, that put their mindset to say, well, I knew this person first and I'm going to try to do everything I can to make sure that they're mine, and I'm going to present them as my boo while I try to call this person my best friend and try to say that because that's what you say in front of everyone so that you can make light of what the fuck you're doing. But in actuality, you just being a trifling hoe. And the men are not excused, or the person that's the opposite sex person is not excused, because this is not just women who do this. Men do this too. It's just that women do it more. But it doesn't excuse the person that they're friends with, because that ego stroke, you know what the fuck somebody else is doing. You know that they're trying to present you in a certain way, and perhaps you're even on some sly tip presenting them a certain way. Maybe that's your backdoor chance to try to figure out, oh, maybe, I mean, I know this person for a long time. I get it. I have extremely handsome, extremely awesome male friends that most of my life people have been like, why haven't you gotten with this person? Why haven't you done this? And my thing is, because when I actually call a guy my friend, I really mean it. We're just friends. And I'm honest with my significant other when we have been anything more than that. Because that's how a real relationship is supposed to be. And that's how a real platonic friendship is supposed to be. It's supposed to have boundaries. We have convoluted it with this friends with benefits energy as a whole entire as a people, like not just one particular type of person, but just people in general. They just feel like a friendship now should be someone that you just, maybe you get it in, maybe you don't. But there's always that chance that you could, and there's always that chance that you can go back and be like, boom, since I've known you for so long, let's get together. And for some people it works. My thing has always just been that don't be messy and entangle other people's hearts in your messy way of doing things. Just be honest. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I have a more formal statement of what I want to say about this, and it's going to overlap some of the things I said in this pregame. But that's what was so exciting about my conversation yesterday. And from what I could tell online, even on Instagram, where my reels don't, I have a business account, and I feel like those reels, if you got a business account, they try to play you. Or maybe I just am not in the right, orbit of people's For Your page. But I mean, both YouTube and Instagram, when I uploaded this, it took seconds for people to find. I was like, what was the formula? Because I need to tap into that every single time. Anyway, Because I'm already running into what, 5 minutes? Yeah, I'm already running into 5 minutes. Let me say the formal statement because people have already asked me what my 2 cents are on the video. If you haven't seen the video, then definitely check it out in the comments. I'm going to put it in the comments. If you're looking at this on Instagram, then, well, you won't be able to look at it on Instagram because I just realized it's 5 minutes. Instagram is a place for short videos, maybe on TikTok. On TikTok, I'll put in the comments, and then on YouTube, definitely it'll be in the comments so that you can see the video if you haven't. So yeah, like I said, it's called How to Lose a Queen. Number 31,003. Fake oblivion is just an ego's immature facade. So, as many male friends as I used to have, I never was one of these, that's my bestie, but still doing everything under the sun to act like and present another person's man as my boo, or allow my male friends to be comfortable giving me entitlement reserved for their woman, their girlfriend, or their wife. Men do this too, as I mentioned before, but women do this more. A conversation recently made me understand that women who do this, they be the first ones to co-sign and try to say, oh, she's insecure, or damn, she don't trust you, or any number of variations to make what these putas do look innocent or seem normal, or she just randomly posted that, or she just randomly did this, it's an innocent, yeah. Anyway, when at the end of the day, it's all just trifling, trash rifling, not looking anywhere else because they're doing everything to be his number one type shit. No, bish, it's not insecurity. It's observed certainty. In this world of savage, petty lifestyles, it was nice yesterday finally talking to someone who is disgusted by the musical chairs that love and relationships has become. The men who need their ego strokes, so they got to have a harem of quote unquote just friends posers when it's clear that that is not what hoes are trying to be. That's the part that blows my mind. And the women who think that just because they knew the man first, that they don't need to step to the side or out of the picture in its entirety to respect the change in dynamic, that also blows my mind. It takes a Martian to understand a Martian sometimes, Martians. Because regular schmegular people be liking shit unnecessarily messy. Entanglements and fence riding is never an act of respect. It is the ultimate riding, it's the ultimate situation of disrespect. Fence riding and dishonesty and deception and half-truths. Like, I'm genuinely, I was having an additional conversation with this person that doesn't necessarily touch on this topic, and I'm going off script for a second. And I realized that good people are genuinely amazed when fake ass nice people who only really do things to self-serve themselves, we are genuinely surprised when people are trifling in that way. Like, it's a genuine, like, when I was talking to this person, their genuine surprise, I recognize that genuine surprise because we don't understand. We are in the world, we're not perfect people, don't get me wrong, but we're in the world saying to ourselves, we don't want to just intentionally shit on anybody's efforts to do anything, not relationships, not business, not anything in their lives. We maybe we're just people who really believe in karma, or we really believe in getting things the right way so that you don't have to worry about things in the aftermath about how you obtain something. Like, I would never want somebody else's man. As soon as I find out, when I have been involved with people, if I see they have messy entanglements, and I'm like, oh, no. If you try and work it out with your girlfriend, do that. And most people think I'm being a pendeja, like I'm being an asshole about it, but I'm really not. I'm saying this because I never, and I tell people who know me this all the time, I never want anybody's love by force or by fear. And if I'm impeding on something that you emotionally are entangled about, please go the fuck over there. Because where I am, if I'm focused on you, then I'm focused on you. I'm not focused on you and, oh, it's a little piece of my heart over here. I don't do that shit. So when I was talking to this person yesterday, and some of the additional stories that they had to tell me, they were just so genuinely amazed at what people do to people. I was like, even though we live in this trifling world, I guess there is a part of us that just feels like if you see so much trifling shit in the world, why would you also want to be a part of that muckety muck? I think that's where that comes from. Like, we're just surprised that people want to add to the buttery bullshit that is the world we live in right now. Okay, let me get back on script before this become a 15-minute video. And this is on my phone, so I don't even think my phone can hold all this. Anyway. So, as I was saying, I don't... This is just one of my favorite topics, and I always it's such a polarizing topic too, because the people who are doing the trifling stuff, I'm sorry, I just gotta say this again because this is the thing that we had discussed. The people who are doing the trifling things, the women who are trying to get into men's pants, or they giving the guy head on the slide when they go to visit them, and then or cuddling up with them and shit, or trying to have their child all in front, like all of this kind of stuff that women do. We also was like, the men who allowed this stuff to happen, like, you guys are trifling too. Like, I'm harping on women, but the men, y'all trifling too. You're trifling on both sides too. I mean, people are trifling. That's the theme of this, is that the trifling ways of people on the male and the female side, on the woman and the man side, is just appalling to people like me and this person having this discussion. And we realize the people who are rubbed the wrong way by this discussion are usually the people who actually act in this way. It's not usually people who are really thinking of it from a logical place and saying, well, no, because this. It's people who are triggered because that's what the fuck you're doing. And so that's why this topic of discussion was so hilarious. It's such a good convo yesterday. Anyway. And I already kind of touched on this, but this is where I had left off. And don't even get me started on the ones with kids who use their child as a pawn to stay bonded and connected, or who try to latch on to the dude's kid, because that's another one out there, as being too concerned or so concerned. But what they really just want to do is strategize to be with the dad at the end of the day. Listen, platonic friendships exist, but if they can't be respectful, then it's just a bunch of immature games. After that convo, I was sent this video, which is the video that I'm going to put in the link. And it was spot on from the discussion that I was having. It made me realize, you know what it made me realize? And if you follow me on Instagram and YouTube, but Instagram specifically, just because the layout is more formalized and most people follow me on there because they can see more consecutive content. But you already know that yesterday I was already in this very spiritual headspace because online church had put me in a headspace of just really recognizing that there needs to be a realignment of planets in my life. Like, there needs to be an adjustment to my galaxy because it's impeding on the things that I really need to have for myself. And so when this conversation came about, I was like, I'm having some really good, even though the church part wasn't a discussion, it sparked a discussion, which sparked this discussion and sparked an additional discussion. Like, yesterday was just a real good day of real good discussing content. And so that's why I shared it with you guys. But it also was teaching me that I need to have more people in my orbit that are like-minded, not because I don't need to have the challenge of having other mindsets, but sometimes having an opposite mindset and having too many people that are that way, it will start to make you already know you're a Martian when you're different from everyone else. But it starts to get to the point where you can't even have any discussions with anyone because they're not on the same wavelength as you on any, in any facet of thinking. And you just say to yourself, you know what? You are entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to mine. But I don't think that this is a connection that should continue because we might be just too different, and I've seen this when it comes to friendships and all kinds of things. And sometimes the season is just over, what I'm saying? And sometimes the season can continue. It really just depends on the type of work that people want to put into it. And that's a topic for another day. But yesterday's conversation and just being in conversation with someone who was so like-minded, it just made me say, wow, I have forgotten what this felt like because everybody else in the world keeps thinking that I'm overreacting, or I'm the type of person who is like, who thinks like that, or her. And it's like, why aren't you thinking like that? because I'm actually thinking from a place of logic. Going back to this topic, how can you expect to have a strong marriage with this type of thing around? You know, children are very like, they're sponges, they soak up everything. So if you were married to someone and your opposite sex friend is constantly trying to play the role of surrogate significant other, how do you think that plays out from an optic standpoint to your significant other, to your children, to your family? Like, that's what I be trying to get people to see, that people like me and the person I was talking to, we're not people who are just sitting here in this headspace of we just want to be contrary. We actually think logically and less emotionally. And it always makes me laugh because there are people who will say they're logical, but then they do stuff like this on both sides of that coin. And I'm like, no, you're not logical, because you are a short-term thinker. And most logical people are long-term thinkers who say to themselves, I got to make better decisions right now so I can make better decisions in the future that will continue to put me in a position to be better a little bit every day, instead of just being in this static, stoic mindset of only having gravitational pull of everything that I've always known, instead of venturing out into what I haven't known. I feel like people who do stuff like this, it goes deeper. It goes deeper than just being trifling, and it's like a coping mechanism, or like a security blanket. You're so scared to step out of your comfort zone. And for the woman who's being trifling enough to present a guy as her boo on the low, you're so scared to actually go out and get into a relationship and be challenged in a different way, that you're trying to latch on to someone else's opportunity to love, because this is the only person that you think that you're capable of loving. But you actually are capable of more. And the person who needs their ego stroked, one, your issue is the ego stroke. Two, you are such a trifling friend yourself, because you're not giving that person that opportunity to grow, and you're not giving the full attention to your significant other so that you can grow in your relationship. So no, it's an illogical way of thinking about friendship, but it's the logical people like me and the person I was talking to yesterday. Our logic, our thought process is considered illogical, but we're actually thinking about the long term. And because we're good people and not nice people, we're actually considering it from all angles, and how it could negatively affect not just us if we were in that situation, but how it can negatively affect the players at every turn. Anyway, this is probably the longest speaker box Maxie, where are you now podcast and video vote post that you guys have ever seen from me. But it was such a good conversation. I wish it was like one of those things that if I could turn back time, I would record us having the conversation so that you can have the video that I'm going to post in the comments, and you can have the video that we actually had talking to each other. So anyway, Martians, you have a good one. Take care. And don't be trifling like some of these other motherfuckers out here. Later.